Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Let's play the game.
Sports Radio, Panama City, Toyota.
I just don't think that anybody's going to succeed in that city. It's just a bad organization.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Onions, pickles.
Live and local.
Look, it's impressive.
On ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
What is up, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick and the Bone Crusher. And we've got a great show lined up for you guys this afternoon. Man, lots to get into. Well, actually, I'm not going to lie, it's not like a whole lot has happened in the sports world. Kentucky's got a new coach, got a couple of surrenders out there as well. But outside of that, not a whole lot of sports news. Did that perplex you a little bit with what I'm talking about with the surrenders?
No, well, okay. A little bit about that, but I'm just saying, like, it's just that time of year, you know? I mean, you got getting ready for the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, baseball just kind of kicking off. But, yeah, outside of that, you don't have a lot of big stuff unless you just want to talk about the gossip that's in sports today. And
there is some gossip in sports today, but UFC 300 is around the corner tomorrow afternoon, so we're actually going to have Johnny Yankee Seed come in for the second half. We were going to have Eric Anders on with us, former football player for Alabama on the 2009 national championship team turned UFC fighter, but he is busy traveling today, so we're going to kick that can down the road just a little bit. Did you have an opportunity to listen to the Odie Delaney segment yesterday?
No, I missed most of that, yeah.
Oh, boy, that was a great interview, a great man, and a great coach and a great fighter as well, and he brought in Henry Montgomery and Dario Griffin with him as well. They did a phenomenal job. That was a lot of fun with that interview, but Wrestling Against Cancer, the 9th edition, that's coming up in the next segment. We've got Jack Patterson and Sam Phoenix in the building with us. They were over there at Bayhaven Charter Academy this afternoon, so that event is going to be April 27th. Doors opening 5:30, bell time 6:30. That's going to be at the Bayhaven Charter Academy gym. You do not want to miss that. And it's also for a great cause for Jaden's medical expenses. Wrestling Against Cancer. Then we're going to have Taylor Duncan. He's the CEO of Alternative Baseball Organization. I'm going to be playing in their exhibition game. It's going to be a 7-inning exhibition game at Gulf Coast this Sunday, 2 o'clock. Taylor's going to join us to talk about what we can expect from that event and how long he's been doing it. All kind of great stuff coming from the Alternative Baseball Organization. And again, Johnny Yankee. We'll talk a little bit about some of the random headlines out there. One we didn't dive into yesterday, Tom Brady flirting with coming back. I mean, who knows what the world, maybe he's just scared to do some broadcasting. Could that be it?
It could be, possibly. You know, a lot of athletes, when they get to this time and they're retired, they find it hard to transition. I think I'm an ex-military brat. I was an active duty military, but I've seen that too when you're used to kind of having a routine, or like military people are kind of used to, for lack of a better term, told what to do every day, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, why to do it. And then when you don't, and you kind of have to do things on your own and kind of make up your own minds. So I think sometimes people just kind of like maybe struggle with that a little bit, you know, and kind of like transitioning from that one stage in their life to maybe something else.
You would think it would be a little bit easier in this day and age to find a therapist that was readily available for transitions and whatnot.
The good thing probably would be to not have to have a therapist to be able to make that transition. But if you are having a hard time, maybe that would be something to do. But yeah, I mean, that's we talk about mental health and stuff. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to that. But and like I said, not to be mean, just because I was like a military brat and everything, but it's programming, you know, in a lot of ways when you do that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to break that cycle, you know.
You do, and that sometimes those cycles are very tough to break, especially the ones that have been programmed into.
Yeah, if you do it for like 20 years. something like that, like Tom Brady doing his thing, TB12 for that long, and now you kind of want to do stuff maybe differently and not, stick to that kind of regimen? I'm sure, it takes a little time.
I think that first full year has got to get under your skin a little bit because you're so used to go, 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 and then you find yourself with not a whole lot to do that's, rigorously scheduled into your schedule. So I'm sure there's that. And then when you get into the off season and what you would normally be doing in the off season and that being different, I'm sure that there has some effects there.
And there's more too. A guy like Tom Brady, I mean, he's not eating avocado ice cream every day, I'm sure, anymore. You got maybe a more diverse diet. Who knows? Maybe he's delving into like alcohol, adult beverages. Maybe he's getting into other things that people can get into that are legal in this country nowadays. So, when you're not used to doing those kinds of things and then you transition into that too, that's a big change for people's lives too.
It is a big change. We'll talk more about that at 5 o'clock. As always, you guys can call or text us at 850-215-6290. We will be playing the race to Talladega. It'll be up to Bone Crusher if we go 2 times. We will absolutely be playing at 5:15. This will be your last opportunity, but if Bone Crusher decides because we didn't have one on the inside drive today at 12:15, then we'll run one at 4:15 and 5:15.
Yeah, we didn't have any phones on Wednesday either due to the bad weather, and we weren't able to do anything with that either. So.
Yeah, that was a weird situation on Wednesday. Obviously,
a couple of days this week. Tuesday, man, went off the rails, and we had a lot of action going on Tuesday, and then all the drama with the rain and everything on Wednesday. It's been a crazy week.
It has been a crazy week, and I'm thankful for it, man. Love a crazy week in sports. 850-215-6290. That is the number to call or text tonight after the Afternoon Underdogs. 6 o'clock coverage time. First pitch at 7:10. The Braves and the Marlins. Got Max Fried on the bump for the Bravos going up against Taylor Rogers for the Miami Marlins.
So what do you think? They're going to give up less than 16 runs tonight?
I hope so. I severely hope so, especially with the Fish. Now, look, the Fish bounced back, got themselves a win against the Yankees a couple of days ago. That's, great for them. But this is with what's going on with Spencer Strider, with how the rotation is, Charlie Morton getting a little bit older. Now, again, I don't think that we're talking about small sample sizes as it is across the league in Major League Baseball. But with a pitcher that's getting up there in age like Charlie Morton, Chris Sale's up there in age as well, and his health hasn't been the biggest benefactor for him in his last 3 years of his career, 2 years of his career. You've got to win the games that you're supposed to win.
Yeah, I think you guys will be all right, though.
Yeah, no doubt for the regular season.
Well, that's true, too. But, giving up 16 runs last night, you guys thumped, my Phillies the first 3 games of the series, the season, I should say, in that series, putting up an average, I think it was about like 7 runs a game in that series, you're just about. So, yeah. Long enough timeline, you're going to have a game like that or two.
Hey, they are going to come in and you'll just see how it pans out. You never want to see a 16-4 loss to the New York Mets, but hey, it is what it is. Early in the season, Alan Winans was going for the Braves, and looks like he might have taken his name out of the hat for that 5th man in the rotation moving forward, but we'll see what happens. I'm really interested in hearing kind of some finality on what's going on with Spencer Strider, because all of that's still up in the air. Some people have the theory that he's already had the second Tommy John surgery and they're just going to kind of wait to see how it pans out.
Soften the blow a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Conspiracy theories abound, these days about all kinds of stuff. So, I think actually not saying nothing. It kind of, gives you guys a little bit more optimism anyway. Yeah, there you go. At the end of the day, what does optimism or pessimism really mean when it's coming from the fans? Yeah, that's true, I guess. But it's all about, but it's early in the season. You want to have optimism this early this season. You don't want to be looking like down in the dumps, like, man, we're already losing people. Things aren't going so great, There's some fans, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You could be 12-0 and they're going to find some little piece to be pessimistic towards at that point in time. I was over there at Bay Point Golf Club today for the rally for Ryan Mulvey. Man, what a great event. Thankful for all of the sponsors who were involved with that, helping out Ryan with his medical cost for everything. And I'm excited to announce, I don't think that he's going to have any issue with this, but he rang the bell today. He finished his last round of chemo. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, so, man, that just talk about an inspirational fella. For him to do chemo and radiation 5 days a week, continue to do the show, which, he's like, well, it's the thing that he looks forward to. True,
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you each and every morning. You know, that's one of the bright spots of my day, being able to be on the air with or just run into Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley. But for him to be able to kind of do this, to do this without any stopping or anything like that, it's just been a big inspiration to me. And over the course of almost a year, it'll be a year in about 18, 19 days, we've been doing the show together for a year. And I would have never in a million years would have guessed that we would have became the friends that we've become, and it's all because of the show. This show for me has created a lot of relationships that I'm going to cherish and take with me for the rest of my life, and I will forever be thankful for that, and I will forever be thankful for Ryan Mulvey and his family as well. What Beth Mulvey does behind the scenes and in front of the scenes as a real estate agent, and as Ryan mentioned today in his speech, that is something. If you're not a real estate agent or don't know a real estate agent, you don't know about all of the things that they have to deal with and get in order, and then for her to continue to make sure things on the homestead are going well, just absolutely amazing. And then got to play with Jay Henley, first time playing golf with Jay Henley. I'll tell you what, man.
Learn anything?
Yes. I learned one. He helped me out with a few shots, but I wasn't there for a lesson. I was there to have fun. And that is one thing about it, man. So actually, he did have one of his students with us, Taylor. So we had Taylor Camp, Ryan Cox, Jay Henley, and myself. That was our team. And it was one of the most fun rounds of golf that I ever had. And there was good shots. There was bad shots. We ended up shooting 15 under as a scramble team. And I think we were in third or fourth. I don't know. Maybe some pencil whipping going on out there. But no, it was a great time. And if you're looking to get better at the game of golf, you've got two options. One, you can go to Golf Plus and you can get your clubs fitted, because if you're swinging something that you don't know if it fits you, maybe that's affecting the strokes in your game. And just like Alan would tell you, you need to get a good teacher. And a good teacher is not just going to teach you the game of golf as well, but also to kind of give yourself some slack. Like you're not Tiger Woods or Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy. So you'll get a teacher out of Jay that not only is going to teach you the game and the right way to play it, but also a good mental approach, and it being about having fun. And that's one thing I can say for sure is he hit some shots today that was not the greatest in the world, but that smile didn't leave his face, which made it more enjoyable to be on the pitch with him, to be on the golf course with him. So very thankful for all of the sponsors there for the rally, for Ryan and for Bay Point Golf Club putting that on, and for Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley, man. Those guys mean a lot to me.
Anything interesting happening? Like anybody get any aces, any hole-in-ones, anything crazy happening that's notable from that tournament today?
I was only, in my group, so I don't know. I didn't hear about any hole-in-ones.
I figured something like that would make its way around the course and people would talk about it if something like that were to happen.
Free pizza.
Right on. Hell yeah.
I smoked a cigar today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
$22 cigar.
Nice.
That was the most expensive cigar I ever did.
Yeah. So,
hey, guess where it was from, though?
He's
not a sponsor anymore.
I was going to say something with Tim.
Yeah, Sure Thing Cigars.
Okay, I was trying to think of the name. Right on.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, heck yeah. And then $22. It's kind of I
ain't never spent more than daggum $7.
Yeah, I was just saying to spend that kind of money on that. That's cool though. A little experience.
Yeah.
Any wagering going on at the game?
I'm sure that there were some side bets going on in our particular group. You had. I think Ryan Cox is no. We didn't have any children.
Oh, I thought one of his students was a child.
No, he is a student, but he was a grown man.
Okay. Right on.
And so I think that obviously the student and the teacher aren't going to be doing much gambling against each other, unless the student just got that much confidence in his game, which it seemed his game is growing. I hit a bunch of terrible shots and I hit some good shots, and that's all I try to focus on. All of my flop opportunities just didn't work out today. I was not hitting good flop shots. But as far as the wagering goes, we didn't have any going on in our group, but I think that's also it helps when you've got Jay Henley playing in your group, and it's like there ain't no point in betting. I will say that Jay Henley's got one of the coolest putter grips in all of the world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like a court grip. What you would see
on a fishing rod.
pole.
Oh, really? That's kind of neat. Yeah, that's something different.
Yeah.
I wonder what would the genesis of that. I wonder if they actually have clubs out there that are geared that way, or if that was something custom that he thought of.
I really think that's just because he's from Griffin, Georgia.
Okay.
And
You never know,
You got to have something to take place of the SAT scores at that point.
Wow.
Jay Hidley, man, really appreciate those guys. Keith Fleming was in town as well.
Oh,
so,
cool.
yeah, that
Right
was second time meeting Keith. But, no, it was a great time, man, and saw a lot of people that we knew out there. And, again, just really proud of Ryan Mulvey and everything that the Mulvey family has done to combat this. How about Kentucky hiring Mark Pope as their next head coach? He was on the 1996 national championship for them. He's been the head coach at BYU for the past 5 seasons. The 4 seasons before that, he was at Utah Valley. Kentucky has not disclosed the terms of the deal, but sources did tell ESPN yesterday that the two sides are going to be finalizing a 5-year contract. Now, Pope did take BYU to 2 NCAA tournaments in 5 seasons. He went 110 and 52 overall with BYU. They were also in the Big 12 for the first time this year, and they didn't lose any place. They made the tournament. They were a 6 seed, but the negative side, the con side of this would be his teams, just like Kentucky, right? Bowing out in the first round. Now, Kentucky lost to Oakland. They were a 3 seed, losing to a 14 seed. But with BYU, the last 2 years, or in 2021 and then last year, they've lost. BYU were a 6 seed. They lost to 11 seeds both times. UCLA in 2021 and Duquesne last month. So,
a little surprised they didn't go after a bigger name. I kind of thought they might have, being a blue blood, being Kentucky, trying to replace a name like Calipari,
They went after big names. There's no doubt that they went after big names, but before they even really got into their search, Nate Oates was like, no, I'm good right here at Bama. Then they wanted, Scott Drew told him no from Baylor. Dan Hurley was like, absolutely not.
Figured that.
Billy Donovan said he's good in Chicago. So those were kind of your big names out there. And so it was kind of one of those, do you go mid-major or do you go with someone who's had familiarity or been a part of the program? And I don't think a lot of Kentucky fans, in fact, I saw a guy with a Kentucky cap on today and asked him how he felt about the hire, and he's like, I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but we'll see how it goes, and I think that to go from a guy like Calipari, you're in a situation now where you almost want to blank the canvas out and let Pope get it, build his own regime over there in Kentucky.
I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I mean, it might be better, a little bit more stability. Calipari wants to be, or he was like the king of the one and dones. He was kind of the guy that started it all. And I think everybody caught up to him, and finally figured him out. So, maybe it'll work out for him. I'm just, like I said, I'm a little surprised myself. I thought they would go for probably like a bigger name, even if they had to go to the ranks of like the NBA, like the Billy Donovan, or like we even talked about like a month ago or so, Bruce Pearl, somebody like that.
Yeah, I don't think Bruce Pearl, that's a tough one too, because Bruce Pearl was there at Tennessee, has done a great job at Auburn for the last 15 years, but I think that he's good at Auburn. He's building something there. Yeah, he's building something there. They also had a first-round exit to Yale.
That's why another reason why I thought he might have been kind of favoring to maybe go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to start your engines. Get your phones ready because we are playing the race to Talladega. 850-215-6290 is the number to call when we call your name, and your name that we're calling is going to be Richard Bodon. Richard, you are now on the clock. 850-215-6290 for the race to Talladega. This is our final day for the race to Talladega. I'm not even sure who is in the lead at this point in time, and I know that we still got a tie to handle between Gator Phil and Drew Gerhardt. But yeah, so Kentucky making their hire. Mark Pope is the guy moving forward. And as we mentioned, Braves Marlins coverage starting right after the Afternoon Underdogs tonight at 6 o'clock. And then the first pitch will be at 7:10. Max Fried going up against Taylor Rogers this evening. Who your Phillies got?
Right now, that's a good question. I don't remember. Right. Pirates?
I think that's that. Yeah, I do think that's who y'all got. Unless y'all started a new series, and
that's what I can't recall, and that's what I was trying to look at here real fast.
Well, JUCO baseball, we had Gulf Coast walloping Chipola last night, 19-1. It only took them 5 innings, and then Northwest Florida beat Tallahassee by 10 in 5 innings.
Yeah, the game will start with poop because you have Phillies versus the Pirates, P versus P. The scores will be 0-0, so you'll see P00P up at that top left-hand corner of your screen, and indicative for the word poop.
There you go, man. Well, Richard, you are our winner for this week at 1 second flat. My man, we've already sent you to Daytona. Now you're headed to Talladega. How excited are you right now?
Very excited, man. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Who do you think is going to win it all Sunday, April 21st at Talladega?
Hopefully Kyle Busch.
Well, we've also got you tickets for the Xfinity race as well, and you're going to be over there in a tower, my man. Do you think Talladega will be better than Daytona?
Not better than Daytona because of the 500, because of the prestige of it, but yes, it'll be a blast going back to Talladega.
Awesome. Well, Richard, thank you so much. Do me a favor, hang on the line, and Bone Crusher might have some more information for you, my friend. Thanks so much for playing the race to Talladega.
Okay, thank you, man.
Yeah, man, congratulations, dude. Have a good time.
Yeah, he's going to be
appreciate
going.
it.
Yep, absolutely, Richard. You take care now and hang on that line. Hang on that line for Bone Crusher. Wow. I think that's our first time that we've had a winner that's going to be headed from, not headed from Daytona, but he went to Daytona the time that I went. So that was, February of last year. And yeah, now he's going to be going to Talladega, a course that I really want to get down to as well.
Right, and check it out. I mean, I think that's our quickest ever, 1 second. I think we've been down to 2 before, but I don't know if we've ever got down to 1.
We've been down to 2 seconds, but 1 second we'll have, or 1 second. 1 second we'll have to go into our history books, our record books, and Richard Bodon is going to be the winner. You guys are riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick time out, and then Jack Patterson's going to tell you guys a lot more about wrestling against Cancer 9.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Hi, this is Jack Patterson inviting everyone out for a night of exciting professional wrestling. It's Wrestling Against Cancer number 9, Saturday, April 27th at Bay Haven Charter Academy. Tickets are still just $12. Ages 6 to 17 only, $8. 5 and under get in free. Proceeds go to 16-year-old Jaden for medical expenses. The Wrestling Against Cancer number 9. More info at ESPNPC.com.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, sunny and a temperature of 73 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze and warm near 56. Sunny and 76 tomorrow. 76 and sunshine with a light breeze Sunday. Monday sunshine and a temperature about the same at 74. And partly sunny Tuesday with a high around 76. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
On April 14th, the general public is invited to experience a full afternoon of local history in the making, an experience that will go down in history as one to forever champion empowerment and encouragement of the true capabilities of individuals with disabilities. As part of the second full annual Playing for Community Integration Tour, a team of baseball players with disabilities will work together alongside community leaders and celebrity figures in a 7-inning exhibition. Who says the price for a fun experience has to rise with inflation? Individual tickets to the special occasion are Name Your Price for a donation to Alternative Baseball's continued production of the authentic baseball experience for teens and adults with disabilities. Lives are sure to change on this excellent afternoon of America's pastime. Special thanks to Gulf Coast State College for allowing us to host this on campus April 14th at 2:05. We're looking forward to celebrating this experience with the entire world.
Podcast.
Frequency modulation is a big step forward in radio.
Broadcasting live from the world's most beautiful beaches. The Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are live in the doghouse. This is the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Caveman Rick, Bone Crusher, Sam Phoenix, and Jack Patterson. And we are getting you guys ready for Wrestling Against Cancer 9. That is going to be April 27th, Bay Haven Charter Academy. All proceeds going to Jaden's medical expenses. Jack, Sam, you guys were at Bay Haven Charter Academy today. Tell me a little bit about what went down there at the at Bay Haven.
Well, we were over promoting a show and stuff, and them kids got riled up over there, boy.
Oh, yeah, man.
They was so riled up. We mentioned this about Mr. Spivey, the assistant principal, getting in a ring, and boy, they went crazy. I said, but you got to be there to see it.
Oh, yeah. And how did they get there?
Their parents knew.
There you go. Yeah, getting tickets right now. Tickets are $12. Kids 6 through 17 get in for $8. 5 and under get in free with a paid adult. And the doors opening at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. What was your favorite part of today, Sam?
Just interacting with the kids, man. Once we got in here, they went crazy. So once, like Jackie said, once we told them about the principal and, mentioned his name about him possibly getting to the ring, oh, man, the kids loved it. And we sent flyers home with every one of them, man. Yeah. So parents, be looking out for those flyers for sure.
There you go, man. I'm really excited for this show. Why didn't y'all just go ahead and jump the principal right there? Right there in the lunchroom.
Oh, man, he was too nice. We thought he was going to jump us. He had too many kids back, man.
Plus, he had they got a school resource officer.
Yeah, SRO officer.
We couldn't do that. We couldn't do that.
That would have been troublesome. That would have been law crime.
It really would have.
They made him take his nightstick, because his gimmick is law enforcement.
It got confiscated.
The cop made him put it away.
I felt like I was losing my cell phone in middle school again.
Wow. Couldn't even have any props.
Oh, there we go. Bone Crusher always on time. So, and I mean, would you guys say that where wrestling is in general right now, with how big WrestleMania was just last weekend, that the kids are eating it up just the same?
Oh, dude, it's coming back. I'm telling you, especially with the younger age, all the kids, I feel like, especially with the way we walked out there and touched with them, and even the guys in WWE, man, I've seen a lot of interviews where they go and talk to kids too, man, and that's what we need to do is get this younger generation back into it.
Yeah, because I mean, isn't that the most special part of it? I remember watching Jack wrestle when I was a kid, and just like me and my brother were talking about this the other day, watching it in person when you were a kid, it was just like, wow. And it was better than, I would say, and he said, my brother did say, it was better than watching WCW or WWF, WWE, whatever it was that you were watching when you were growing up. Watching it live was just a totally different atmosphere. And so for parents, if you're listening and you're looking for something to do on April 27th, I would highly encourage you to come to Bay Haven Charter Academy and check out the talent that's going to be on show in the ring at Wrestling Against Cancer 9. Sam, what are you looking forward to the most about Wrestling Against Cancer 9?
Dude, I am looking forward to such an awesome crowd. Last year we had so many people, but this year, dude, I think we're going to have standing room only. Just standing room only. I asked Jack, I said, we're going to have to pull out chairs. He said, dude, they're going to take all the chairs, man.
That's a totally different type of SRO right there, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what match are you going to be in?
So I have a match against Chris Spider and the Dandy family.
Oh.
So
you're going to be... yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to be wrestling Spider and Chuck Diamond with my Uncle Buddy.
Okay.
So my Uncle Buddy back in the day, he pulled the Law Dogs, and we're rekindling the name, man. We've got to bring it back. When I first got into wrestling, like you were saying, I watched my original tag team partner, which is an older guy than me, and I watched him as I was growing up. And then for him to come and ask me to be his tag team partner, dude, it was $1 million.
Yeah.
It was $1 million, man.
See, Buddy Golden, I actually wrestled him in the 80s, late 80s, 90s, up until he basically got out of it for a while. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of great matches against each other. Me and my partner, Cobra, the SWAT team versus Law Dogs back in the day.
Might have to rekindle that one.
And so they, it's just, wrestling is so different now than it used to be.
Oh, most definitely.
It's just got too much entertainment, I think. I think they bring back some old school hip toss, arm drags, and stuff like that. They hardly ever do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, how do you go about getting that back into getting back to seeing that in the ring?
It goes back to training, getting more training and getting things. If you're starting in this business, you need to get some technical. I don't see a problem throwing in new school with some old school. I don't mix it up some.
It's kind of like the same way with baseball. Like, yeah, we like the pitch clock and some of these things help the game, but also on the flip side, there's some other things that some of the players are doing that's, maybe not as conducive for the old school viewers of the game, but at the end of the day, isn't what's driving everything the young kids, so it's all about what they like, and that has to do a lot with, or one of the bright spots of that, though, is that wrestling at the WWE level, at the top level, is starting to become more popular again. So is that a trickle-down effect? Do you think that it starts from the indie level and works its way up as far as popularity goes? Or is it when the big promotions are doing well that the indie promotions start doing better?
I think it's a 50-50, honestly.
50-50?
I think it's a trickle and a build-up, man. I think we build up to what they trickle it onto us,
Yeah.
We send fans their way, and, they send them our way when they're not at Monday Night Raw or something like that. We got Saturday nights down here in Panama, like the 27th, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I was watching WrestleMania, and I seen the Rock and Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. That was probably the nearest old school that they've done in a long time on WWE. I think.
Yeah, no. Did you get an opportunity to check out WrestleMania, Sam?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first night I was actually here at Guardians in Panama City, but the second night I was actually able to.
Awesome. What did you think of that final, or what was your favorite match from the second evening?
Honestly, it was the main event, man.
The main event?
It had to have been. The Rock's larger than life, and Roman's right behind him, and both of them have been idols of mine since I was a little kid. And then, here comes a young buck, Cody Rhodes, worked his way through the company, worked his way from the bottom to the top. It's guys like that, man, that really show us that it's possible, bro. You can make it from the indies all the way up there. Like, me and Jackie was sitting out here in the lobby talking. When I first started watching wrestling, I was watching people like AJ Styles, Velvet Sky, working indie shows, And now look at those guys. He was just on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And like you just said, those guys give us that drive to be able to get out and do these little indie shows, to have that faith to make it one day.
Yeah, man. And you guys are putting your body on the line at the same time.
Yeah, and
it gets rough.
But with WWE now, you have to go through NXT anymore. They make you go through NXT before you can go, unless you're related to somebody sometimes.
Yeah, unless you got a little pull.
You got a little McMahon in you or something like that.
I'm kin to all the wrong people.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look how it worked out for Cody Rhodes, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of on the outside looking in, and then Dusty Rhodes had a large part to play with the NXT series.
Yeah, he was in charge of NXT on the training and stuff.
And that's somewhat of a local guy, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, his sister lives in Fountain, I believe it is.
And Dusty, he owned the Oyster Bar at the beach that has his name at one point in time. He doesn't own it anymore, but because he sold it, I believe. But so that's got a little history right there too.
Well, see, Cody, when he left WWE and went before he went to AEW, Cody Rhodes has gotten 3 times better than what he was, because he went out and he learned. He had to leave WWE to go out and get better.
Yeah. So for you, Sam, what's it like when you're in the ring with someone who you looked up to?
I feel like a little kid, man. I am awestruck. Sometimes I get in the ring, especially with someone that I looked up to, and I catch myself for a second not realizing that I'm in the ring about to wrestle them. I'm like, oh, I'm actually in the ring. Oh, I'm wrestling this guy? Dude. And the whole time after the match, I'm just like, thank you for everything you've done for me. like I was saying, my first tag team partner, I watched him as I was growing up, and no joke, dude, he caught me in the bathroom. I was coming out the bathroom. He walks in, he locked the door. I was like, He was like, so Sam, you want to tag with me? I couldn't speak. Yeah. I was awestruck. I was like, dude, I want to take a minute, but I can't. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like one of those things that you really wanted to sit there and think about, but you just had to give an answer right then.
Now, how long have you been wrestling for?
I've been wrestling for 4 years now.
So on the flip side of that, I'm sure that you've wrestled against people that's been in their first match before?
Yes, indeed.
So what is that like, the difference in going up against a wily vet who you've looked up to and then being in the ring with someone who's kind of wet behind the ears?
Dude, it's a learning experience for both of us.
Yeah.
Even after, you know, the few years that I've been in, I still find myself learning from people that just got into the company. And no joke, I met another wrestler that I haven't seen in a long time out on PCB about 45 minutes ago, and me and him was talking, and we were actually talking about a newer guy. And I told him, I was like, you gotta learn from anybody and everybody in this business, even the new guys. I was up in North Georgia, and a guy come out the ring, and he was like, oh, well, you know, I really learned something in the ring. So I went and sat down with him, and I was like, tell me what you learned so I can learn from it, you know?
Yeah, the trickle-down effect.
Yeah, dude. It trickles both ways, you know? Like I was saying, it's a 50-50 both ways. They give up, we give down. We all meet in the middle.
Now, one of the other things I wanted to ask you guys about is butterflies. I'm sure that you get butterflies before the match, right? But
it never goes away.
So that's kind of where I was going to go. I know for me, like baseball or softball wise, right? If I always get them before the game, but it's kind of after that first ground ball or that first, you know, at bat, and then it's like, all right, boom, like we're good to go. So in a wrestling match, they never go away?
No, dude. Every time I get behind that curtain and I'm waiting to go out, butterflies. Every single time. On the way to the show, I'm just as nervous as I was on the way to my first show.
And that lasts throughout the entire match?
Oh yeah, dude. It just never goes away. Really, you really learn to deal with it. You really tie the adrenaline in with the nervousness, and you overcome it eventually. But it never really goes away. You know, like you're able to function better after a while, but it never goes away, man, and it never will.
Well, the 30-something years I was wrestled, when I first started, I was getting butterflies and stuff, but it was more like, after a while, for me, it was more like, is a match going to be okay? Is a match going to be good? Because what goes through your mind before you go out there is the match going to be good? I want to give my best, because I don't want to go out there and look like an idiot, as you want to say.
Yeah.
But that's what, to me, that's the way it was for me.
Not trying to bring back the Hogan chair shot, huh?
So is there anything special going on with any of these matches? Like, you have any like women's matches or like any kind of like battle royal or any like special tag teams going for belts or
all
anything
the
like
above, my brother. All the above.
All the above. We got a ladies match: T. Gaines and Savannah Thorne versus Casey Lennox and Emily Locke. Casey Lennox has never wrestled in Panama City, so that's going to be an experience for her, she said. And she wrestled on AEW some. Savannah Thorne has wrestled on AEW some. And we're going to have a Florida heavyweight title match: Chief Little Bear versus Billy Sharp for the Florida heavyweight title. This right here, I don't know if people can see it.
Oh, yeah. Just hold that thing up right there, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You got it upside down.
Oh, dear.
Yep, there you go.
There we go. Look at that beautiful thing. Yes, sir. Florida heavyweight wrestling champion, man. Hey, I think Caveman Rick likes that a little bit, too. It's got the Philadelphia Philly colors there on it.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
Yes, sir.
And then we're going to have a Wrestling Against Cancer Championship. Cali Man, he's actually the champion. Cali Man is. He's going to be versus Kelly Clark.
Kelly Clark, a little personality versus the Cali Man, Mr. Personality versus the Cali Man. So, Sam, what's your plan for your opponents in this match? What are you guys going to do to your opponents?
So, to properly answer that, man, to give you a small backstory of like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, take your time.
So, last year we did a show in Donaldsonville, and Spider and the Dandy family thought they were going to get one up on old Sam Phoenix. And my uncle came out and saved the day. And when he did, it started a fire between the Dandy family and the Law Dogs. And so our plan is to shut the Dandy family down once and for all. Because Spider's been a thorn in my side for way too long now. And an event like this, I feel like it's the perfect event to go ahead and do what we need to do.
There you go, man.
But it's all for Jaden that night. It's nothing but about him, not about me. It ain't about Sam. It ain't about nobody on that show.
Jaden,
it's all about him.
Settling scores for Jaden.
Right.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And all of the proceeds from this event going to help Jaden with his medical expenses. Now, last we talked, Jaden was in remission. Is that still the case?
He's still in remission that I know of.
All right. And just turned 16 years old.
Yep,
so he's very young. And this
has to be super strong, man.
Oh,
super strong.
Super strong. I mean, to fight this in any way, shape, or form, any capacity, to fight cancer the way that he's been fighting, you have to be super strong. And this is going to be, again, April 27th.
Yep.
Bay Haven Charter Academy. Doors opening at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be concessions.
50-50.
50-50
You're
raffle.
not going to want to miss this show, I promise you.
And there's also going to be an appearance from the Bay Haven Charter Academy principal, right?
He's going to be there.
He's going to be
But you got to show up, see if he gets in the ring.
And he gets in the ring.
The host of the Afternoon Underdogs.
Yeah, I'll be doing the ring announcing that night. But again, like Jack said, it all goes back to Jaden.
Oh, yes,
and
most
Jack,
definitely.
we're very appreciative of you working with us, letting us work with you on promoting this event. And man, it's huge for our community. And that's what we had the rally for Ryan today at Bay Point Golf Club, and that's one of the things that stood out to him and what he's been dealing with, and 4 things that he's reflected over, and one of those being just how great this community is, and you're a big reason that it is as great as it is. We appreciate what you do, Sam. We appreciate what you do, and keep on getting these kids hooked on wrestling, man. There's a lot of other things out there that they could be hooked on that we don't want to see.
And don't forget, Scott Armstrong's going to be there, former WWE referee and producer. He also wrestled in Continental Championship Wrestling in the 80s. He wrestled on WCW when they were around. So come on out and enjoy see Scott Armstrong. WWE ref was.
Let's back this building out for Jaden, man.
Yes, sir. Standing room only. Not just SRO deputies, but standing room only. That's going to be our acronym for SRO. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Jack, Sam, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And we'll have you back with us on the 26th, the night before the show.
Yep.
All right. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. You are in the doghouse, and you're going to take a quick exit and be right back here in about 2 minutes.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike 3.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play!
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, sunny and a temperature of 73 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a light breeze and warm near 56. Sunny and 76 tomorrow. 76 and sunshine with a light breeze Sunday. Monday sunshine and a temperature about the same at 74. And partly sunny Tuesday with a high around 76. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
ESPN Northwest Florida is an active member of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We want to introduce the newest members to the Beach Chamber: A&H Heating and Air, Cruise Law Group, Sea Cow Aquatic Adventures, Sweets Bakery, Spot On, and Warrior Memorial Reefs Foundation. Congratulations from the only local sports talk station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
He listens to Post Malone. He drives a Honda with ground effects and has Pennsylvania tattooed on his right tricep.
Looking at a bad man.
David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. You're tuned in to ESPN Northwest Florida, and we've got a great hour 2 lined up for you, but I'm really excited about this next segment. And you guys got to come join us this Sunday, 2:05 at Gulf Coast State College for the Alternative Baseball Organization, a little stop on their tour here in Panama City Beach. We've got the CEO with us, Taylor Duncan. Taylor, what's going on, my friend?
Hello, Panama City, man. I am so excited to be hosting this event at Gulf Coast State College Sunday at 2:05 p.m. with our athletes with disabilities and the locals that make this community run round, and it's so great.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
Tell us about some of the things we can expect this Sunday, my friend.
Absolutely, yes. 7 innings of all-inspiring action. The same rules as we see on television with the Major League-style baseball rule set. And also, too, we do this not just to celebrate America's pastime, but to promote the awareness and necessity for integration of those with disabilities throughout and beyond the wide world of athletics.
Yeah, man, I think that's very important. I feel privileged that you would even invite me to participate in something like this as well. How did this dream start for you?
Well, I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum a long time ago when the statistics were actually 1 in 1,000, whereas the CDC now has it something like 1 in 45 kids now diagnosed on the spectrum. And as a result of the developmental delays as well as the negative stereotypes and perceptions of what one with autism can and cannot accomplish, well, I had very limited opportunities to play traditional recreation sports growing up. But with the positive experiences that I've had, it's been more than baseball to me. It's taught me how to work together as a team with others, other very differing personalities, how to communicate with others in the team setting, because you have to communicate with each other to win games, especially to win championships, obviously. And also learning how to work around differences, dealing with disappointment. Every experience I learned, whether you win or lose, there's something to gain from for the next experience that you have on the diamond, as well as in real life as well.
Dude, you are my type of guy, bro, because that's what it's all about, right? Is all right, no matter what it is, if it's good, if it's bad, if it's indifferent, there's still a lesson to be found there. And sometimes you got to search a little bit for the lesson.
100%.
Sometimes it smacks you right there in the face.
Man. I remember when I was reading and studying about John Wooden in college, I was studying that he wasn't so much focused on beating the other team as much as it was beating the best version of yourself possible in a way that raises yourself up to an ever higher standard.
Yeah, man, and trying to be the best version of yourself each and every day.
Breaking as many perceptions and self-perceptions, raising your confidence level, and working together for the greater good of the team and trying to be the best version of yourself possible.
Man.
It's all about personal development within the organization.
It is, and I bet you help people grow quite a bit, my friend.
Yes,
this is our first time ever meeting in person, and we're, 30 seconds, a minute into this, and I feel inspired already. We haven't even touched the diamond yet.
Yeah, man, it's all about really the community aspect and using the sport to integrate our athletes in the greater community, uniting them with the community resources. Say we have the government leaders, police, sometimes in other areas we have those from fire, as well as state representatives participating as well. And it's all about getting them acquainted and acclimated with their local resources as well, because they'll help them in their everyday life as well. They help all of us.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing too is growing up, when those graduate out of high school, a lot of the times they don't feel as empowered to go out there and to find work, to find encouraging experiences, because in a lot of areas those resources simply don't exist.
Yeah.
Especially after they graduate out of idea. I'm not sure what the guideline is in Florida, but where I'm from in Georgia, after you age out of that, I believe it's around 21, 22 in Georgia, you drop off the cliff. This public school system can't support you anymore.
Yeah.
But that's why resources like ours, they need to continue existing, to use sports to be able to encourage and empower others and give them the life skills needed to thrive, not only in the game of baseball, but in the infinite game of life where the rules, they're very inconsistent.
Yes, they are, man.
And they're ever constantly adapting, just as fast sometimes as the weather.
Absolutely. Caveman Rick's one of his favorite statements or slogans on the show is fair is
a place you judge pigs and pies.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like a state fair, you know?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about how you guys raise money. And so for this particular event, it's a name your price event.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So it's free admission with donations encouraged. Now, we don't take donations at the gate. How we do it is at the bottom of the first inning, we pass around church style.
Okay. I'm going to feel right at home here. I'm stoked about this.
People dropping their bills and their cash, being all inspired all at the same time.
Yeah.
We like to give them a little bit of what we do first.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, so free admission, they just show up to, is this going to be at the softball field or the baseball field?
The baseball field, Frazier Field.
Frazier Field,
Field. Beautiful baseball field. I mean, we're grateful for the partnership with us, Gulf Coast State College, and Florida State Panama City.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about this. And what is this just a stop on the tour, or are you guys trying to build a league here? So what's
We have an existing alternative baseball program. We are continuing to try to build, to find new athletes, to find new volunteers, to continue building in Panama City. They are the Panama City Beach Bull Sharks.
Okay.
And we started that one at around the time COVID had hit. And what had happened was there was an anchor at WMBB who ran a story of mine during the pandemic when all the professional leagues were basically out of commission.
Was this Courtney Mims by chance?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it
she's
was.
awesome.
Yes, very much so. And also, too...
Yeah, I think we've got someone at the door, Bone Crusher.
And also, too... It helped us find the coach, Doug Boldick, who has been absolutely phenomenal as a coach and as a mentor for our players as well.
Yeah, man. And that's huge, right? Is to have the right mentors in place so that the integration can be sincere, right?
Absolutely, 100%. No matter where they start at skill-wise, they have a lot of time in the practices to work on those skills, to work on gelling together, to build that team chemistry, because if we're going to do this, we need to do this correctly.
Now, do you guys end up having... I was
just going to ask if you did anything else besides baseball, if you guys are, got like anything going on with basketball or football or, any other sports out there that if somebody's not into like baseball necessarily might be able to have a different angle.
I will tell you that we have become an associate member of the World Baseball Softball Confederation as of last September, who is the governing body for baseball and softball at the Olympic Games. And we're working on an esports program with those across the globe to introduce the traditional sport of baseball to them, as well as working to pilot a new program called Baseball 5, which with that one, it's sort of think of it like the 3-on-3 basketball equivalent of baseball.
Yeah.
There's only 5 people in the field. You can play it on any surface, including this kind of floor surface you have here. You play it on cement, play it on grass, play it on anything that you have, even the beach sand out there as well. And the only piece of equipment is the type of ball, the only type of rubber ball that they've produced by Kenko in Japan.
Okay.
And with that as well, there's only 5 people in the field. There's no pitcher. You throw it up and you bat it, and basically it's a very fast edition of the sport of baseball and more condensed as well. And that is a program we're going to be offering in areas, hopefully, where access to baseball fields, they get harder to access in some places.
Yeah.
Urban areas like probably Atlanta and Philadelphia and some of the more rural areas that don't have access to fields at all. and that would be a good fit for those communities as well, and those that kind of want a different type of experience. We'll be working on trying to roll that out this year as well.
Do y'all end up having like a playoff system where some of the other teams play up against each other?
Well, we're going to be working on trying to establish the more local programs. That's why we're trying to host these events, to go with our overall vision and mission. What we want to do at the end of the day is do everything that we're doing to raise awareness and impact our athletes in a positive way the best that we can. But we're in the phase coming back from the pandemic to where we've got to go out to these communities, not only where we're at, but go to the surrounding areas as well, to be able to go out and advertise and make those community connections so that we can have more support in helping us start more programs.
Did you want Cody to come in here with you?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Cody, come on in here, my man. We'll get Cody on the line with us here in a second. Hey, you're good.
Horrible.
Yes, it is, man. We've got Cody in the building with us as well.
Let me silence my cell phone.
There you go, my man. There you go. So, Cody, we'll get you in here, and a great friend. You guys are best friends, right?
Yeah, we've known each other for 20 plus years.
Wow, how about that?
We grew up in Dallas, Georgia together. He moved down here, 2015? This is almost your 10th year being
the
here.
spring break incident.
The year of the spring break
The last
incident.
time I was in Panama City myself, it was before he moved down here, so about 2014-ish.
Which one of y'all's the better ball player? Who do I got to watch out for on Sunday?
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah?
If you're looking for speed, probably him.
Okay. Hey, but if I'm looking for power, then Taylor?
Maybe.
All right, maybe. There we go.
We'll have to see.
What position do you play? What position do you play, Taylor?
Wherever they need me now.
All right. All right, let's say this. What's your favorite position?
I have to say probably the best fits for me, probably first and second base.
First and second?
They stuck me in the outfield. Man, it's going to take an eternity, and they're already going to be around the bases by the time I get the ball. And pitching, I didn't really learn how to pitch much until I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And so I'm still trying to work out what works best with that. But we're transitioning to a new ball for our tour that we've done, and for our other programs that have a group of those that have more experience to be able to start with a ball that more mirrors a typical baseball, the Japanese rubber Kenko ball, and that's what we'll be using Sunday. And it flies further than the original ball. That's slightly larger than much softer than a regulation-sized baseball that a lot of teams and programs start out with or use based on the needs of their athletes in their areas.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, man, Sunday it's going to be fantastic. We're all going to be playing 7 innings or 2.5 hours, and we're going to be playing straight up classic version of OBR. Sorry, no pitch clock.
No pitch clock.
But we do require 4-pitch intentional walks still.
Okay, so you got to throw them.
Yes.
You got to throw them.
The classic rule set that we know and love and watched since we were watching the Braves on TBS all the way back when we were kids.
Cody, who's your favorite baseball team?
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves. Who's your favorite player on the Braves?
Right now, currently, Ronald Acuna Jr. is really good.
Oh, he is a stud.
I watched him in Rome when he impressed a lot of locals there too.
Yeah, man. Do y'all like minor league baseball?
Yeah.
Do you like it better than MLB?
Ooh, I like international baseball.
What's your favorite league?
Nippon Professional Baseball.
Okay, all right. Who's your favorite player over there?
Hanshin Tigers. I will tell you that I met and got to play alongside Craig Brazel, who hit 47 home runs in Japan back in 2010, and man, wow. Even the ball that we used to use, he couldn't hit it over 350 feet, but if it was a regular baseball, it would have sailed probably 400 or 500 feet.
My goodness.
I mean, we play alongside against former professional baseball players as well, and that will happen at our Rickwood Field game in Birmingham in September. So after this game, we have games in Georgia, we have games in Alabama, we have other programs doing games in Minnesota and West Virginia and Washington State and Maine and different areas where we have alternative baseball programs in those places.
My goodness, man. So this is a well thought out tour.
Yes.
Man, do you guys work on this together?
Us and the local managers and whoever wants to participate throughout the national organizational blueprint can participate in these national games for us to continue going out and marketing the program.
Now, Sam Peebles is going to be playing in that as well. How did you get Sam involved?
Oh, man. Well, how I typically do things is I send a whole bunch of emails out and spend an entire Entire night working on emails, sending out invitations. That's how it was.
Yeah.
I'd never met any of these people in Panama City before, other than knowing Doug and Cody and the Bull Sharks. It's just the act of networking.
Yeah.
And building that coalition of people who believe in your cause.
So, Cody, you run the Bull Sharks?
I'm actually one of the players. I'm actually a player rep for the team.
Okay.
Coach Douglas Bolduck, as he mentions,
That's right. Yeah. Awesome. So what position do you play?
Second base.
Second base, man. There you go. And you guys are both big Atlanta Braves fans. You're going to be there as well this Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. I am so excited about this. And a lot of hard work, I'm sure, goes into putting all of this together. And again, it's name your price. So you just come there, you watch the first inning, or you watch a little bit, and then in the first inning, it's going to be like collection style, church offering style. Definitely. And we're just going to raise some money and raise awareness and raise some inclusion as well.
Yes, absolutely. All about community integration and making as much of a long-term impact on our athletes with disabilities as we possibly can.
Well, Taylor Duncan, it was so nice to meet you. Cody, it was so nice to meet you guys. I really look forward to Sunday.
We're looking forward to having y'all with us for sure.
Yeah.
Come on out, Panama City and Greater Panhandle, Sunday at 2:05 Central Time. Be there or be square, and keep on rocking in the free world, folks.
What do I need to even talk for? Let's go to...
Woo!
ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The Race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega, right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Clear tonight with a light breeze out of the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour and temps near 56. We will have sunshine and a wind speed of 5 miles per hour tomorrow morning and be very warm at 70. And sunny in the afternoon and evening at a high 76. Sunshine Sunday with a temp of 75. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach offers full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, plus cash and carry cabinets available the very next day. Kitchen Designs has been family-owned and operated for over 20 years. Visit their showroom at 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Or call Kitchen Designs, 850-775-4150.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The trucks open up a triple-header weekend of racing in Texas. I'm Kyle Rickey. That story next on NASCAR Hot Pass.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcer. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio. The Motor Racing Network on all your favorite social media outlets.
Race 7 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season is set for tonight at the 1.5-mile Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. Ty Majeski is the current point leader, but still in search of his first win of the season, following 2 runner-up finishes earlier this year. While Majeski leads, his ThorSport teammate and defending series champion Ben Rhodes is on the playoff bubble, with just 1 top 10 finish thus far in 2024. Our live coverage of the SpeedyCash.com 250 is set for tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The NASCAR Xfinity Series will race tomorrow in Texas, while the Cup Series will conclude the weekend on Sunday. I'm Kyle Rickey. This is NASCAR Hot Pass on the Motor Racing Network.
Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're in the doghouse riding along with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. All at ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also get the app and take us with you where you go. Just type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Oh, that's a little bit too loud there. I'm over here adjusting the headphone volume. But yeah, man, great day, great afternoon so far. Been able to play a golf tournament, having the 2 great segments that we've had with Wrestling Against Cancer and with Taylor and Cody there with Alternative Baseball Organization. Yeah, if you don't have anything going, even if you do, change your plans on Sunday. Change your plans on Sunday. Come out to Gulf Coast. At least stay for a couple of innings until after they've passed the collection plate around. But, you know, get in there and help out, because not only do we have a team right here in Panama City Beach, the Bull Sharks, as we mentioned, but this is something that's huge to grow the game of baseball, a game which I love, a game which I know Johnny Yankee Seed loves, I know Caveman Rick loves it, I know Bone Crusher loves it, and 9 times out of 10, if you're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs, especially in this portion of the sports season, you've got to be a baseball fan, right? Because we do tend to get on those tangents involving the world of baseball. Lots to talk about. UFC 300 is going to be a huge event. Do you think that it's going to be bigger than 299 though?
That's going to be tough to beat. That card lived up to all the hype. And this one is deep as well. There's some spots for letdowns, but I think with that 300K bonus, I think we're going to see fireworks.
More on that at 5:20. Do want to remind you guys that the Arnold Marlins Mosley Dolphins baseball game did not happen last night. They postponed that to tonight. So at 6 p.m. over there at Mosley, Arnold and Mosley will be playing a great game of baseball. Arnold 16-1 on the season. Their lone loss to the Mosley Dolphins on Tuesday evening. And the Dolphins right now are at 8-10, and they're led by their athletic director, Coach Doug Lee. So great stuff there. How about, I saw this randomly on Twitter yesterday, Zdeno Chara. Monday's Boston Marathon is going to mark his 7th marathon in the last 12 months. He's not slowing down. He says once you've done one, you just don't want to stop. Well, what do you think of that, Caveman Rick? I know that, you know, we're not necessarily hockey centric around here, but Zdeno Chara was a guy for me when I was growing up watching hockey, one of the biggest defensemen in the league, one of the tallest players in the league, regardless of position. And I think that makes it a little bit tougher to run marathons as well. But to run 7 and 12 months. What's your thoughts on Chara's perseverance, if you will?
I think it's like goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, you know, with athletes and other people when you're like used to doing that routine and then trying to get out of it. I mean, he's an athlete. He's used to competing, something that's keeping him active. I'm sure it's keeping him like, you know, in the gym, keeping him, you know, doing his normal like, you know, workout type stuff that he was doing probably for playing hockey. Guys that play hockey, it's a lot of cardio. You'll see even guys sometimes in between periods jumping on like a stationary bike to keep the legs going, keep the blood flowing and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's probably got a lot to do with it. But and you were saying he's a big dude. I don't know. I mean, big dude. he's got a big stride, right?
Yeah, longer legs. There you go.
Maybe it's not as bad to run, that much. So good for him though that he's able to do all this, especially in his up in age. I'm sure he's probably going to be like in his mid to late 40s by now.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool seeing that, especially him being someone who, not saying he was one of my favorite players, but he was also one of those guys on NHL, whatever year it was that I was playing, that I was trying to get him on my team because he was one of the baddest dudes in the NHL.
Also had one of the hardest shots too. Won the hardest shot competition a couple of times, with shots over 100 miles an hour, probably like in the 104, 105 mile an hour range.
We talked about the Ippei and Shohei situation yesterday. Seems like that might be coming to a head, but still, the more details that come out, the more you're like, how does this just totally exonerate Shohei Ohtani? Ippei has surrendered, and he has posted bail. He has had his first court appearance either today or yesterday, but he was released on $25,000 bond. What's your thoughts on the Shohei Ohtani situation, Johnny Yankee Seed?
I'm not buying any of it.
Not buying a lick of it?
Nothing.
Too quick, too neat, too clean for all this to just be like they just found out about it. They know what's going on. This is what happened. Punish them and then move on. To me, like when stuff like that happens, they're just trying to sweep stuff under the rug and move on. And it's just easy once you have a scapegoat or once you have somebody to blame. It's easier for acceptance for people to get some closure, like I said, and move on to the next thing.
I hate it. But I have to agree with it, because when that comes out and then they've changed their story within 24 hours from the initial conversation, or from the initial coming out of Ippei, then Shohei comes out the next day and is basically saying the opposite of it. Now you're saying it went from $4.5 million to $16 million. You placed 19,000 bets and not a single one of those were on baseball. Yeah, something's just not adding up. And I'm normally not the person to be like, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. But in this case, and it doesn't seem like we're ever going to see the fire, because the golden child of baseball, if you will, has got to be protected by Rob Manfred. Oh, and here's the other thing that's not really making as much headlines, but Major League Baseball and their streaming needs a lot of help right now, and it would not be looking good for them to lose the best player in their eyes in the game right now.
Not to mention, it looks kind of fishy with him signing the richest contract in history and then having all that money being deferred. That there's something to that there. So, even earlier today, you were hearing, a little bit of noise about potentially did the Dodgers maybe know something about this ahead of time, and that's possibly why the money was deferred, is because of the gambling kind of issues and everything, and then that would allow, the money to be there later instead of now. So it just lends to more speculation with everything going on.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of speculation about it, but once it gets wrapped up like this, and Shohei has essentially been donned as the victim in this, and Major League Baseball is going to get the win that they want out of this. The worst part about it is that there's a tie-in with the feds as well, and so if they're not giving us the truth of all of this situation, then
that happens all the time. How many times you see where they let certain fish go away, so that they let them go so they can try to catch a bigger fish and such.
All the other islands.
So I mean, just because you think they wouldn't let somebody go or they wouldn't do something like that, that sounds kind of fishy. Come on, man, this is our government. We've heard and seen stuff happen in the past numerous times before. Why shouldn't we think there's anything kind of sketchy going on? I hate to say it, but yeah.
If MLB is going to let you down, they always do.
they find a way. And they find a way to make it right.
We love that game, but they always let us down.
The money that's at stake here, it's not. We're not talking a few $1 million here. We're talking this isn't even going to billions. This is trillions, because this is like the League of Baseball too on top of it all.
Yeah.
And they've already had issues with the steroid stuff. We already know we can go down those roads. It'd be another, not a black eye, man. It'd be bludgeoning to baseball if something like this were to come true, and then to come out that they were trying to hide this too after all the other stuff that's happened in the past.
And that's the worst part about it, right? Because eventually facts surface. and be like, what's going to happen here in the next 2 weeks now that O.J. Simpson's passed away, right? Like, there's going to be different narratives, and I've already seen, I haven't dug into it, but, confessions on his deathbed, that type of stuff. Well, same way with this. Eventually, these facts are going to surface in some way, shape, or form, be it by word of mouth from Ipe, be it word of mouth from Shohei, somehow, some way that's going to happen. Now, they could have Barney Fifed it, nipped it in the bud by having it taken care of, like, hey, look, he bet on baseball, he bet on this or whatever, and we're going to separate ourselves now from Shohei Ohtani. But they didn't, and they stood up for him. And so with standing up for him, now you've chosen Shohei Ohtani over baseball, and you already had a situation like this in the past, multiple situations. I mean, we've got the situation right now in the NBA with Jonte Porter, and he's looking to be banned by Adam Silver, the commissioner for the NBA.
You had Tim Donaghy.
I mean, basketball always kind of takes care of their business, regardless of what the black eye is going to look like or not. But with Major League Baseball, it just hasn't been the case. And then you've also got, half the people here are saying, I don't even care about the Shohei Ohtani situation. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame now. And it's like, I'm on two different sides of the fence there, because it's like Pete Rose as a baseball player, with being the hit king, some side of him deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. On the other side, it's not like I'm like, all right, well, Shohei did it. You guys love him. You want to keep him in the game. So to even all of that out, to iron out those wrinkles, why don't you just put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? To me, it's like, no, like if Pete Rose ain't going to be in, that's fine. I think he should be in. But if not, Shohei Ohtani shouldn't be in the game, period.
If they'll let an owner destroy Oakland, they'll let anyone get away with anything if it's good for the dollar.
But see, that's crazy too, because if you go back like to the 80s, for instance, they didn't let like Marge Schott like ruin stuff. They forced her out and they said like, get out, and they made her sell the team,
Yeah.
So it just shows a stance in the way people were looking at things from say 30-something years ago to today.
That's true, and things have changed and changed tremendously, and that's also another situation that's not, I guess it's still perplexing, but just looking at the Oakland A's and everything that they've been for Oakland and the people of Oakland wanting them to stay there, and by, doing that, they just don't go to the game. They don't go to the games. But I hate it, and I hate it for the players. After having Jay Chapman on with us the other day, and he's talking about the players having to go from that MLB locker room, regardless of it being, or clubhouse rather, regardless of it being Oakland, and now you're going to be in a AAA ballpark, and the ramifications that are going to come along with that mentally is going to be a little bit wild.
Yeah, I get it, what he's saying, but at the same time, too, if you're in the clubhouse for, say, like the New York Yankees or a team that spends phenomenal, just astronomical amounts of money, and then you're in a clubhouse for a team that, usually annually doesn't, like the Rays, there's a difference there, though, in the clubhouse. There's a difference in the kind of, I guess, maybe like the food that you're eating, the accommodations.
The amenities.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, I get that it's going to be lesser because you're going to be at a AAA ballpark in comparison, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, is there that much disparity, is my whole point. You know what I mean?
Well, I haven't been in the Oakland clubhouse nor the Sacramento Sutter Health Park, but I think that there is that environment, the environment that you're in as a major league ball player, and it's like the same way for the Coyotes, which hasn't affected them too bad, right? Because they look like they're going to be on the move to Salt Lake City, but also the Arizona Coyotes kind of outdid themselves this season.
Maybe. We thought the Oakland Athletics, we thought everything was set in stone about Vegas, and now they're going to be over here at this park for a little while. I'm not trying to be negative about the Coyotes, but there's been talk about them moving for quite a while.
Yeah.
Hell, even the NHL owned them and was running them for a while. So until it's actually done, they're actually moved, they're actually in a new city, in a new building, I'm not really going to believe it until I see it.
Right, but what have you expected Arizona to even have 73 points this year? I guess what I'm saying is Arizona playing in a smaller stadium, in a collegiate stadium, they still played better. I can't say that the environment. What I'm saying is I don't think that the environment necessarily affected their play.
It goes back to what Jay was saying on Tuesday, right? You're a pro, right? Even if you don't want to go and play these games, even if it's a bunch of shenanigans and you're not wanting to get up, because it's going to be an early game or what have you, you're still a professional. This is still going to be on your stat line at the end of the day. So if you still want to like have a good career, you want to have a legacy, hell, if you don't want to play for the Coyotes or whoever else, down the road, and you want to go and get a better contract and go to a better team, then you got to go out there and you got to perform and you got to put numbers up. So yeah, them having 73 points right now, I'm not surprised. They're professionals. As a matter of fact, they probably want to win kind of like Major League, just to spite the hell out of ownership and everybody else, to show you guys, hey, we're not as bad as y'all think we are.
There you go. Well, you know who else isn't as bad as they think they are, and no one really thinks that he's that bad? Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan headed to the draft after back-to-back championships with UConn. Do you think that he's the best big suit, like from the collegiate level, suited for the NBA? Because Zach Edey's, he might get drafted, he might get signed by a team. I don't know if he'll end up getting drafted. I know that he's got the resume there, but obviously great dominant college basketball player, but he doesn't have the skill set to play in the NBA in the way that the NBA is played today. Now, he could be a guy that comes off the bench and provides some great depth minutes for him, but Donovan Clingan seems like a guy, yeah, he's big at 7'2", but he's also athletically gifted as well. What do you think the future holds for Donovan Clingan?
He's extremely athletic, and that adjusts well in that league. Kling Kong, he's the man.
Kling Kong.
I think, yeah, he's broader though. He's got more he's filled out. And I think that's going to help him out. He's he's not like lanky. He's not like a Wembayama or like a Chet Holmgren. So I think that definitely helps out his game. It'll help him out. Stay in the league longer and maybe play more games.
Wemby's had 8 games, 7 games where he's had 8 or more blocks or 7 or more blocks in his rookie season. He's only played 70 games. Man, I remember, we would always have the conversations about Wembanyama and how he was going to be. And for me, it was like, how's he going to live up to the hype? And then secondarily, beyond that is his frame going to be ready for the NBA? And he's gotten better throughout the season. And I would say to this point, he's living up to the hype. Now, he's not, the San Antonio Spurs don't look like the greatest team out there, but we'll see what the future holds for him and what Greg Pop can do with those San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. But our race to Talladega contested for this segment is going to be June Foster. You are now on the clock, 850-215-6290. June Foster, you are on the clock for the race to Talladega. Good luck beating 1 second from Richard Bodon, who called in earlier. We're going to go ahead and hit a break. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're talking UFC 300 when we get back. If you got any questions, call or text in 850-215-6290.
The new app from ESPN Northwest Florida has up-to-the-minute sports news, interaction with local hosts in real time, easy download and no credit check, live streaming, real-time traffic and programming schedules, 40 miles per gallon, rack and pinion steering, leather interior, and built-in alarm clock.
Here's how to order.
Download our free app from the Apple Store and Google Play.
Dynamite!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Clear tonight with a light breeze out of the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour and temps near 56. We will have sunshine and a wind speed of 5 miles per hour tomorrow morning and be very warm at 70. And sunny in the afternoon and evening at a high 76. Sunshine Sunday with a temp of 75. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. 800-261-7365. That's 800-261-7365.
On April 14th, the general public is invited to experience a full afternoon of local history in the making, an experience that will go down in history as one to forever champion empowerment and encouragement of the true capabilities of individuals with disabilities. As part of the second full annual Playing for Community Integration Tour, a team of baseball players with disabilities will work together alongside community leaders and celebrity figures in a 7-inning exhibition. Who says the price for a fun experience has to rise with inflation? Individual tickets to the special occasion are Name Your Price for a donation to Alternative Baseball's continued production of the authentic baseball experience for teens and adults with disabilities. Lives are sure to change on this excellent afternoon of America's pastime. Special thanks to Gulf Coast State College for allowing us to host this on campus April 14th at 2:05. We're looking forward to celebrating this experience with the entire world.
You want a big-time sports show? Tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
We're live and local here.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
We need one more SEC team in there to shake things up.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, we are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. Want to thank all of you for the race to Talladega, and we want to thank June Foster as well. June, you were in at 5 seconds, so that's not going to be good enough to win, but how excited were you for almost placing there?
Extremely excited. I knew I had a winner. I knew I was going to be going on this sure I won something. Really did. I really thought I won. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time, June. But we will we'll keep you guys updated on what is going on with the future races that we have here with ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate your call, though, and we will chat with you next time.
Okay, thank you. Now, bye-bye.
All right. That is Miss June, wife of Jackson State Jeff, and great fans of the station, great friends of myself as well, you know. So appreciate that, and I've always appreciated Jackson State Jeff and everything that he brings.
Yeah, don't know June
as a listener,
but Jeff is a great dude. Glad to hear him calling in the other day. Glad to hear his voice, and he's a good guy, man.
I know June is a bad mamma jamma when it comes to picking brackets for March Madness, but Jackson State Jeff is finally on top, back in his, what he claims as his rightful place in his household. But we'll see what Mama June says about that next year. But thank you guys for playing along with us for the race to Talladega. Awesome stuff, and I think we've only got one thing to figure out, and that might have to be settled by trivia. We will talk about that next week, though, because UFC 300 is tomorrow. Now, again, we talked with Odie Delaney yesterday. We had Henry Montgomery and Dario Griffin in the studio with us, and those guys were phenomenal. So anytime that you have an opportunity to go check out some of the local action going on around here, especially with the Gladiator promotion side of things, make sure you do it, because they are putting on phenomenal shows. But here we are, UFC 300. This is a huge deal. Now, we were talking about this with Johnny Yankee Seed last time, UFC 299, that card. How is UFC 300 going to match it? What's your outlook? How do you think they matched that card from last time?
It helped with the bonus being bumped up to 300K.
And what's it being bumped up from?
50K.
50K to 300,000. Now, can you lend a little insight to our listeners on how this process played out?
They basically goaded Dana at the presser, and he caved. But, I mean, UFC 300, 300K,
yeah,
it all makes sense.
So essentially, I think, I don't know if it started from a question being asked by a reporter, how much should you guys get for the bonus or something, and so they start shouting out numbers like 100,000, 300,000, and then Dana's like, 300? Okay, that's what we're going with. That's a surprising move from the boss, right?
It I would have to think that he's going to be stingy with that now. he ain't gonna want to pass out 300K to every finish. That'd be insane. But with 50K though.
And then that's also going to make these fighters fight harder
Yes.
for to have the best fight of the night, have knockout of the night. And I mean, you're looking at this card, and I know that I was making the comparisons. Like, I don't know if 300 is going to be able to live up to what 299 did. But when you've got Aljamain Sterling sitting there and Holly Holm sitting there on the prelims, Bo Nickel. I know a guy that you're excited about is Bo Nickel. But yeah, I mean, what? All right, so give me this. Let's go through this real quick. Caveman Rick, go ahead.
I was just going to say here, like, okay, so the precedent he's setting by giving out this $300,000, right, for the bonus. So in another 100 months, when it's UFC 400, he's going to set the precedent where they're going to expect $400,000 next time for the bonus. You know what I mean?
He's been growing the sport, so
yeah, maybe that'll happen.
At that pace, that money will be no problem.
Well, I mean, this is true. I mean, with the kind of money they're making, they should be doing this kind of stuff, and it, would help out. Getting the people more excited, getting the fighters more excited. I mean, share the wealth. I mean, it's called a bonus for a reason, right?
Yeah.
When the business is doing well, you incentivize your employees by giving them bonuses so that they'll help grow the business, right?
There you go. That's a great take here. Early prelims. Give me the fight that you're looking forward to the most from the early prelims.
Oh, that's tough. I want to say Jim Miller because he's fought at UFC 100 and 200 and now 300. That's pretty insane. But Jalen Turner versus Money Moicano that could be interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, you got Moicano coming in at plus 200, Jalen Turner at minus 245. That Bobby Green, Jim Miller does look interesting. What about the Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt?
We're going to see if Cody's chin is still good. Because if not, oh boy, watch out.
Watch out. So is that a stud in Figueiredo?
He's a former champion.
Former champion taking on Cody Garbrandt. We'll move on to
both former champs. Sorry about that.
Both former champs at that point. So that's going to be an interesting one, and that gets UFC 300 kicked off in the early prelims. What time do the early prelims normally start?
It'd be 5 p.m. here.
5 p.m. our time, and that main card normally gets started, 9 o'clock? Yeah.
It's like from 5 to midnight, man. It's like straight blood, man. I love it. Blood and guts.
UFC 299, I was watching over at my buddy Derek's house, and yeah, it was. We watched, I want to say maybe we only missed 2 fights of the whole entire night, which might have been one of the first times that I ever watched all of it. And honestly, I'll say, too, because normally during football season, it's not appointment setting for me for UFC. It's like, all right, hey, if it's on and I remember, boom, I watch it. And 9 times out of 10, I remember because I'm going to get a notification at some point of this fight going down. But during the off season, it's more or less appointment setting for me where I'm like, all right, hey, look, UFC is this time. Like I remembered earlier this week that it was going on. I was like, all right, boom, we got, gotta watch UFC 300. It's a big one. But I'll say, though, that a lot of the times, those early prelims and prelims, some of those fights are better than what you're going to get on the main card. Why do you think that is?
They're hungry.
Yeah.
They want to be on the main card. They want to get their name known.
That's it.
And I think that's why you get so much good action out of right here in Beatdown at the Beach, Beatdown and Beats. All of those is because all of those guys are hungry as well. And so, yeah, that's a great answer there. So when it comes to the early prelim or to the prelims, what fight on that card? You've got Prochazka versus Rakic, Qatar versus. I'm just gonna give this a go. Qatar versus Aljamain Sterling, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. That one was easy peasy. And then you got Sodiq Yusuf and Diego Lopez going at it. Which of those fights are you looking forward to the most?
My favorite fight on the whole card. It's Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic.
Okay.
Yuri he wants that belt back, and he's just every fight I've ever seen that man in. Super exciting to watch. I think it's impossible for that fight to be boring.
And as far as the odds go, it might be the closest on odds fight with both fighters coming in at minus 110.
I believe they're top 5 fighters, both of them. So,
okay.
I think more highly of Yuri. He's obviously held the belt already. So, the weird stuff he throws, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
The one thing about this card overall from the early prelims all the way to the main card that I guess I won't say I don't like or whatever. There's no heavyweight fight. I mean, you got some light heavyweights, but I like to see some heavyweights. I like to see the big punches being thrown.
Okay. I feel you, but light heavyweights, I mean, right there.
I hear you, but I mean, heavyweight is like there's no limit. It's like, hey, man, big dudes.
These are some big dudes.
Yeah, but
they could make heavyweight in a pinch. Trust me. I'm sure after they weigh in, they're right there. Trust me.
Oh, probably so.
So let's work our way from the start of the card to the main card. We'll just let you kind of give us a synopsis of the match, and then we'll go back through and kind of make our picks for it. Let's start with Bo Nickel, 5-0, one of the best wrestlers out there, right? And he's going to be taking on Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage is 10-5, Bo Nickel 5-0, and Bo Nickel is a heavy favorite at -1600. What do you think we'll see from that bout?
That's Bo Nickel's first official challenge.
Oh, okay.
I think he should win, but this is the first wrestler he's faced.
Okay.
He is clearly on another level. People think of wrestling, they think of Habib.
Yeah.
This could be better than that by a long shot.
By a long shot?
This is Olympian-style wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in for one here.
Well, like Greco-Roman type wrestling?
Oh, yes. I mean, he was a beast at Penn State, so...
and that's the school, too. That's like, what does it last, like 3 years or whatever,
sir.
Like undefeated, and
He trains with most of those guys, so, yeah.
Let's go, man. I love getting more excited for these bouts because now I have a little bit of knowledge. I don't do a whole lot of research when it comes to UFC, I just kind of, all right, whatever's in front of my face and go with it from there, so I appreciate the insight.
My problem is I start watching these early prelims, right, and it's all good, and like, me, I go to bed kind of early, unfortunately. I'm an older guy. So, like, yeah, it's like, man, getting into it, but it's hard sometimes to stay up till, like, midnight watching some of these fights.
Hard.
And after you start watching it at 5 o'clock, by the time it rolls around to 9:30, 10 o'clock, you watch it for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
I can second that because the worst thing for that main card is to have one snoozer in the middle.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, though, you're like, oh.
The other problem, too, is like, if you're having a good time, you're having some adult beverages and stuff for that long a time, after a while, it catches up to you. Getting late.
Start later then. Start later, Caveman Rick. Charles Olive, go ahead.
Cody Brundage, if he's able to stuff it, the takedowns, we could see more of Bo's stand-up game. And a lot of people have questioned that, but the last few fights, he's knocked people out. So I'm really intrigued by that because if his wrestling is on a next level, this should be a breeze.
Okay. So this is going to be ground game versus ground game, but there's also a hope to see the hands of Bo Nickel.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Part of me wants him to just come out and destroy him, to be honest, because that means we could see something special here and we have the next star. So then we have someone that can get to the top 5 and challenge for the belt.
Almost like the trajectory of Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Yes.
Whereas, like, you started to feel like you can see, all right, this guy's got what it takes to be a superstar.
Yes.
He's got the talent in the octagon. He's got the talent out of the octagon, which happens to be the most important part of it all, right?
Another thing?
Yeah.
He's a black belt.
Okay.
So not only is he a great wrestler, he's a black belt.
In what?
BJJ.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if there's a way to be goated on the ground, it's him.
Yeah. And we're talking about Bo Nickel, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so black belt in BJJ, great wrestler as well. And so if he's got the hands, he's got the trifecta. The only thing he needs right there after that is a personality.
Yes, sir.
Are there any bouts here on the card that you would expect that could be ending very quickly, where you might see a quick knockout by somebody? That'd be the one.
That one. Quickly. I mean, the main event could end like that, snap of a finger.
All right, let's kind of work our way up towards that. Oliveira taking on Sarukian. Yeah, I'm glad you are here. So Oliveira is plus 180 underdog. Sarukian is minus 220, 21-3. Oliveira obviously has a lot of experience at 34-9. Your synopsis of this fight?
He could be in for a long night. Oh,
Oliveira?
Yeah. If you remember Islam versus Oliveira, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
This guy fought Islam when they were both coming up for the belt, and I mean, it was close. It was a split decision.
Okay.
So he took it on one of the judges.
And Islam's one of the more impressive fighters in the game right now as well.
So I thought that fight could have been a draw. That's how close that fight was. So I have high hopes for our man, and I think if he takes Charles down, and remember Charles kind of got he kind of just looked like he was getting depressed in there because he was in for a long night, and then he just kind of looked like he didn't give up, but just man, it is what it is. He accepted his fate.
Yeah.
If this is the same way, So.
Do you think that the height advantage or the height discrepancy there, Oliveira sitting there at 5'10", Arman at 5'7", do you think that's an issue at all?
I would say normally yes, but when you're a BJJ guy, they get taken down. They love to fight off their back, so the height's not going to play, in my opinion. It might be harder to finish him because he's taller, but this guy can wrestle. He's really good, and he can strike. I think he's a better striker than Islam. So,
what discipline do you think helps you out the most in MMA?
Wrestling.
Wrestling?
It's not even close.
Not even close.
It's wrestling.
So, kids, if you're out there in high school and you want to get into mixed martial arts, get started with some wrestling.
I got a quick question here as I'm looking at this card right here. The Gaethje-Holloway fight says canceled next to it. Do you know anything about that?
I saw that, but they both made weight. I'm thinking that was from an earlier, a couple months ago. Maybe there was a financial thing or something.
Okay.
They were going to jump it around, but I got scared when I saw it this morning too.
Okay.
Then I watched. They both made weight. So if I would have figured, I would have got an update or something because
I didn't know if maybe they were going to fight and if there was something going on where there was a build up for grabs or some kind of title, or maybe now they're going to fight, but it's going to be a no contest thing where nobody's going to win anything.
7 hours ago, posted by Spinning Back Fist, it says that Holloway and Justin Gaethje is official.
Yeah.
So, and you said they made weight. So unless something crazy happens in between now and then, that bout will be going on, and that's our next bout to talk about. So what is your takeaway or your thoughts? What's your preview for that battle?
I love Max Holloway. He's one of my favorites, and I'm a little worried about him in this one.
Okay.
The age is starting to get there. He's been in some wars. He holds the most strikes landed in UFC history.
Okay.
And Gaethje has bombs, and his power is scary for that division. And this could be a bloodbath. I see this going 5 rounds and just back and forth. And I'd like to say if he's going to beat Holloway, just to please finish him quick. But Holloway's too tough, and we could see something rough, kind of. But I'm hoping with the extra weight from Holloway that's not the case. But the last time he came up and fought Dustin Poirier, it was a little rough of a watch.
Do you think that this is going to be more of a standing fight, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, takedowns are not, they're accurate for Max Holloway, but not so much for Gaethje as well. So stand and bang, huh?
Yeah, stand and bang. Obviously, if they get caught up or something, it could go to the ground, but I don't think it gets finished there. They're going to stand up. This is going to be a stand-up fight.
All right, and are they calling this a co-main event?
Yes.
Zhang Weili versus Yan Zhozhan?
Close. Yeah. I'm going to go with you because I'm good.
Okay, Zhanan.
Yep.
All right, yeah, we'll go with that. Weili is 24-3. Yan is 18-3. What is your preview for this bout?
Easy money for me. I'm going
with
Weili.
the champ?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other girl, I believe she's 2-2 in her last 4, I think. I'm not positive on that, but she's actually lost to someone on the card on the lower prelims. So I think this is a case of the champ clearing out her division and just slowly working her way down. And obviously, I think sometimes the competition is going to get less in that case. And I don't want to give her no shot, but 90%.
90%. And Weili is beast. She's got them Weili hands, huh?
She's a beast.
And she's got that type of I'll take everything you got and still just continue to march at you like a zombie.
Very, very exciting to watch because she keeps a pace. There's no lull. It's just continuous pressure from her.
Yeah.
And that's great to watch. It may not finish people sometimes, but man, it's exciting to watch because she just keeps it going.
That's what the judges want to see for scoring, too.
Yeah. Who was her last bout? Do you remember who it was off the top of your head?
I don't.
All right, well, we'll figure that out in the break because I just feel like the last time that she fought, I felt like
it was a decision, I believe, and she won.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath, too. All right, we're going to preview the main event, and then we'll make our picks for the upcoming fights for UFC 300. Give us a call or text, 850-215-6290. The last segment of the day coming up next.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
On a first date, I heard about somebody bringing flowers to someone else. Is that the move on first dates in 2024?
No.
On a first date, probably not.
When do you bring the flowers? Second date? Third date?
No, it's gotta be after the third date. It's after the third date, and then all of a sudden there's something there. Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
From Tyndall Air Force Base to the Hathaway Bridge, we're live and local. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. This is our final segment of the afternoon. Really want to thank all of our listeners for participating in the race to Talladega. You guys are going to enjoy it. Saturday and Sunday, April 21st. You're going to be going to the Xfinity race and to the Geico 500, which will be Sunday, April 21st. All right, so we're going to get back here to UFC 300. Don't forget, Atlanta Braves coming up next. Coverage starting right after the Afternoon Underdogs. First pitch tonight, 7:10 p.m. down there in Miami. Max Fried taking on Taylor Rogers. All right, so preview the main event. We've got Pereira going up against Jamal Hill. What's your preview for this one? 12-1 Jamal Hill, 9-2 Alex Pereira. What's in store for this bout?
Scary finish. Both have extreme power. The type, when you see some guy fall and he's like on his legs or something, and it's just not pretty, and you're kind of concerned. Yeah. Both those men have that power.
Yeah, man, and they both land significant strikes, and they're decently accurate with it. Alex Pereira a little bit more accurate than what Jamal Hill is, just going off of the numbers. And, hey, the takedown accuracy for Alex Pereira is at 100%, so he must not. Is this another one of those stand and bang type?
Maybe. So Pierre is not a ground guy.
All right.
He's going to stand 100%.
Yeah.
Hill is a brown belt.
Okay.
But he said he's going to knock him out. But I could see if maybe he gets caught with something he don't like, he could take him to the ground. But at the same time, Pierre has been training on the ground as well because his coach is Glover Teixeira, one of the best BJJ guys ever in that weight class. Crazy. So I think this stands. I think it ends violently.
Do you think Pereira is a good champion for the light heavyweight, or do you think there's someone else there that maybe deserves a title shot?
I love both these guys equally. Like, great guys to watch. Tons of action. Like, if you're going to watch fighting, these two guys, you can't go wrong with anything they do.
So do you think in that bout, though, it's going to end up with a finish, or do you think that's going to go to decision?
I'd be stunned if it went to finish.
Yeah. How many? Over under 3 rounds?
That's 5.
And you think it goes? No. I'm saying. Do you think it goes under 3 rounds?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Well, I want to make our picks for the main card, and then talk about UFC is going to be debuting some new gloves.
Yeah.
In June, so that'll be what, 2 main events away, or 2
or 3
main cards away. Yeah. 2 numbers away, because they go. What do they go to fight night and then?
Yeah.
They fight every week, don't they?
Almost, just about.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. But then they only do like one of the main events, like one a month, right?
Right, that's what I was saying. Like one of the numbered ones, UFC 301, coming to you sometime in May. All right, so let's get into this main card here. We're going to start it off with the Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. I think that we're going to get the brooms out for this one, but we'll find out. Caveman Rick, let's start with you.
I'm going to go with Bo Nickel on that one.
All right, so we are one step
He's
closer
undefeated.
to a sweep. I got to go right there too, man. Minus 1,600. It might be a little different if we're talking about minus 450. And obviously, betting in any sport doesn't really matter what that number says, but I think it's highly significant to how good Bo Nickel is. I know Johnny Yankee Seed's been talking about him to me for months now, so I'm going to go with Bo Nickel as well.
Yeah, sweep.
Sweep. Easy money. Easy money. All right, we'll move on to Charles Oliveira and Arman Sarukian 3 times, and I'll still forget it. All right.
They go like Tsunami with the TSN.
Sarukian. There we go. All right, Johnny Yankee Seed, how about you lead us off in this one?
I'm going Sarukian.
All right, I'm just going to write down Arman in this little blank that I got here. For me, I'm going to, man, this one's tough because there's a side of me wants to go with a favorite. Then there's another side that wants me to believe that Oliveira is going to be hungrier in this fight. I just don't think that that's the case, though. So I'm going to go with my initial gut instinct, my IGI, and I'll go with Arman as well.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I got a dog named Ruka. I call her Rookie, so I'm going to go with Sarukian.
All right.
It's definitely going to be competitive, though.
So here we are with back-to-back sweeps. Are we all wrong as we move on to the third fight of the night? Justin Gaethje taking on Max Holloway. This is a good lightweight bout here. I'll start this one off. Man, you gave us a good synopsis of this earlier. Max Holloway getting a little bit more thicker. Maybe not thicker than a Snicker, but still thicker nonetheless. So I'm going to go with Max Holloway in this bout.
I am not, though. I'm going to go with Gaethje. He always seems to be like the guy that can just pull off the big win and the big moments and stuff like that. This is UFC 300. It's a big event for the UFC, so I think he'll come out guns a-blazing. I think he'll take the win in this one.
This fight is difficult for me as a fan.
Flip a coin type?
Yeah. My heart says Holloway, but my brain says Gaethje. And, I mean, for the legacy, I want Holloway, but I got to be smart here and go with Gaethje. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going Gaethje.
Yeah, I mean, what did we say? We're putting $1,000 per bout on these right here.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Moving on here to
We're betting on all the underdogs, too.
Yeah,
right.
all underdogs. Yeah. There you go. That's how often do the underdogs hit?
33% maybe.
33%, because I'll say all you need is one, man.
I think they do more probably in the UFC because we were just talking about how, it's not like boxing. You have to fight the number one contender. They make you fight who they want you to fight and who's a good matchup. You can't duck anybody. So I think because of that makes it to where, people will lose more often. And then people are hungrier, Johnny Yankee Seed was saying, you got guys like Bernard Hopkins says, man, it's easy. It's tough to get up, in bed when you're sleeping on satin sheets to go up and work your ass off in the mornings and do what you got to do. But when you're waking up in some Roach Motel and some nasty kind of settings or whatever, I hate to go that route, but you're hungry. It makes you want to work for it because you want better in your life, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's definitely mindset.
Is that the case? Though? Do champions ever get to choose who it is they're going to fight, or they have to fight who Dana White brings to them, or is it kind of like a mix?
I think you'd be surprised how much the fans have to do with it. If you start to even suggest it online and the fans get a hold of it and they think of these dream scenarios, all of a sudden you got a wildfire. And that's the case right now. Online, Strickland versus Costa is trending, and it could be a fight. Costa said Strickland didn't accept, but then Strickland was like, it's all about money, and then all of a sudden he said the money's good, and now they're both, all right, let's do this. So it's that simple sometimes.
Do you think that Strickland deserves another shot at Duplessis?
Yes, with anger, yes.
I mean, were you surprised by that decision going back, a couple of, that wasn't the last, that wasn't 298.
That was 298.
Yeah, 298. And I remember, because normally, if you see a champion taking on someone and it goes the full distance and both of those fellas are still standing at the end of the bout, the belt's going to be retained 9 times out of 10. Why do you think they went with Driscus?
I hate to say this because I don't want to go that route, but that presser leading up to that, Strickland had said some things. He's always going to say some things. He's that guy.
And he was talking heavily about Trudeau.
I follow him. He is a great follow, but wow, crazy stuff. Very crazy stuff. But I think he pissed off the wrong people. And those judges are from Canada. And that was a close fight, but I still had him winning it. He outstruck the guy by like 40 strikes.
Yeah.
And he did nothing with the takedowns on Strickland.
Yeah.
The blood from Strickland was from an illegal headbutt.
Yeah.
So I like Dricus du Plessis, but he should want to rematch that for his legacy, because people will always say you didn't beat him.
And that's something that I learned from you in these last fights, was that it's, all right, yeah, you can get the takedown, but it's more so about what you do with that takedown rather than the fact that you just took him down. Because I've always kind of, when I score, I'm like, all right, well, who had the better hands in that round, and then who had the most takedowns? And so it's about what you do with the takedown.
It hasn't always been that way, and I'm glad they've changed it, because there used to be guys, I hate to say it, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
He would hug dudes for 2-3 rounds until they couldn't breathe no more, and then, oh, no, look at the neck, I'm going to choke you out.
Yeah.
You know, like, where there's other wrestlers that stayed busy and ground and pound, and there should be some that goes into that, because if you're just going to hug a dude for 2 rounds and do nothing, what's that? No fan came to see that stuff.
Yeah, and it is boring
very
as well.
boring.
That's like Floyd Mayweather with the shoulder rolls.
Yes.
And just
And UFC might be one of the, like, all right, with football, baseball, basketball, even the fans, let's say the people who are going to the games who are not big fans, they just want to be entertained or whatever. But I don't think, like, the NFL, yes, they want a new demographic, but at the end of the day, they're really trying to take care of their fans, whereas the UFC is like, yes, our fans are going to be good regardless. Essentially, the newcomers, like, we need good stuff for y'all. So if we're gonna let a boring fight go on, then we won't let that happen in the future as well. So I do like the way that the UFC kind of markets themselves towards the outsiders and people who maybe wouldn't consider themselves fans of the sport. Yeah, it is. All the way across the board, I think, man. And I think on the flip side of that, like the WWE style wrestling, I think that that's growing as well. I think that combat sports are on a rise, and I think it's great, especially for the mental, like when you got coaches like Odie the Witness Delaney coaching guys and trying to break that stigma of the mental health side of things, because, you know, like, you just don't expect, guys who are in that profession, guys who are in that lane of life, if you will, don't want to ever feel weak or don't even want to be perceived as weak. But at the end of the day, we're all men and we all go through different things. And at certain times, we're not going to be 100% up to snuff, and to kind of sometimes just be like, yo, hey, my guy, I'm not like 100% on the top of my game right now. I'm not in the best mentality. And to have fellas that you can lean on when you're in a time like that, I think that's great, not just for the sport, but for real life, man, because that's what it matters. You can be great in your sport, but if you can't last long, I mean, I hate to say it, and it's totally different with AB though in the CTE, and you just see that man, incredible athlete, and what's happened beyond that, be it because of a hit, whatever it may be, but you still hate to see that, and that's still directly correlated with mental health.
Strickland AB and AB when it's all said and done.
Right. I mean, you know, you get into those situations and you take so many hits on the head, and you never know what's going to end up happening.
He spars 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is that guy.
He is that guy, and we'll be looking forward to his next fight. All right, 2 more fights to pick here. Co-main event, Zhang Weili taking on Yan Jianan. We'll go with that. I like that. All right, let's go with you, Caveman Rick. Who you
gotta go with Zhang Weili. I mean, the chick's bad, man. She just she's dope. She ain't gonna lose, I don't think.
I'll go with Rose. This is Rose, right? Is that what they call her? Rose Zhang Weili? Or is that a different?
That's a different fighter.
All right, different totally different chick then. All right, so I'll go with Weili as well. No, I'm not thinking of Doug Rose.
No, you're talking about Rose Namajunas?
Yeah.
No, that's Doug Rose, though.
Okay,
that's Rose. But
they fought.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know who I really don't know who I'm thinking of.
Amanda
right now
Nunes?
at this point. No, definitely not. No. We'll figure it out another time, though. But who you got in this one? I'm going with Weili as well.
Sweep that bad boy.
Sweep it out. And then that will take us to our main event, where we're going to have Jamal Hill taking on the champion of the light heavyweight division, Alex Pereira. And that one is sure to be a good one. Light heavyweight coming at you. Caveman Rick, start us off again.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jamal Hill, 12-1, 1 loss. On his way up. Got some power. Why not give the guy that's only got the 1 loss, let him take down the champ, get the belt.
Man, that's tough. He is a little bit younger. They both have the same length of reach. I'm going to go with the champ in this one, though. I think that he gets the job done with a second-round knockout.
I want to say that the actual champ is Hill.
Okay.
He was the champ, got hurt, had to relinquish his belt. So I think Piera has to earn this one.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with this. I think Hill wins it. There was just something about that weigh-in. The intensity afterwards, he feels slighted in some way, it looks.
Yeah.
You can tell he's angry. And he's going to go prove something. That one loss he has is a freak loss. It was by Craig, I'm going to say his nickname, Bear Jew.
All right.
And I can't remember his last name, but he got one of the nastiest BJJ guys in that division. He got a hold of his arm and he dislocated his elbow.
Ooh.
So yes, it was disgusting. But that's his one loss. And other than that, he has destroyed everyone that has him in close.
Man, got me all excited for UFC 300. And man, I'm definitely going to be watching this, and we'll get a recap of it next week sometime. Hey, Johnny Yankee C, thanks so much for hanging out with us this afternoon.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Lots of things going on this weekend. We've got the Atlanta Braves coming up tonight at coming up right after the show. First pitch tonight at 7:10. First pitch tomorrow at 3:10, and then first pitch this Sunday at 12:40. Wrestling Against Cancer is going to be April 27th. Plan for that now, and then the Alternative Baseball Organization is going to be at Gulf Coast State College Sunday at 2 o'clock. Y'all come by and enjoy it. I'll be playing in the game. Caveman Rick might be there, and Sam Peoples will be there. We are out. Just remember, Jesus loves you, so do I. Have a great weekend, y'all.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show. I wasn't joking when I reached out to DraftKings and I said, hey, let's come up with a betting line. This Connecticut team versus the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to let you guys decide what you think that point spread would be. The Pistons would be listed as a 45-point favorite.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Clear tonight with a light breeze out of the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour and temps near 56. We will have sunshine and a wind speed of 5 miles per hour tomorrow morning and be very warm at 70. And sunny in the afternoon and evening at a high 76. Sunshine Sunday with a temp of 75. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a place that feels like home right in the heart of Panama City? Well, look no further than Charlie Corm's place at their new location on 15th Street. Charlie Corm's is not just a place, it's an experience. Imagine cozy corners, friendly faces, and the aroma of delicious dishes that'll make your taste buds dance. From sunrise breakfast to late night bites, Charlie Corm's on 15th Street has it all. Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street is now offering exclusive weekday lunch specials. Visit Charlie Corm's place on 15th Street. Look for the giant mural.
Ready to save big on the #1 selling car brand in the world?
We've extended our best deals of the year throughout the month of April. Get 2